Oh no. I think we're live. I hit the wrong button. Oh no, I failed to post a tweet. Oh well. Alright everybody, we're gonna get started in less than a minute this time around. This time there should be no issues. I'm going to go to my live stream window to double check. I don't know why I sound so cynical about it all. Haven't had any issues right as of yet, or for the 35 seconds that we've been going. So yeah, hello to everybody. I'll start in a bit. I'm trying to figure out my buttons and stuff. I don't know what I mean by that, but a lot is going on. Just going back and forth with it all. Alright. We are live! Welcome back everybody, I'm Dirk the Red Panda, and this is Password. Yes, this is episode 26. I can't believe I didn't do anything like special for like a 25 episode marker or anything like that, but sorry, let me adjust you guys to be more in line with me, y'all. So, yeah. This is day 16 of Dean's Route. We are back in the grind of our lovely, huggable gardening bear. And, yeah. It's been a shame as of late that I don't think we're going to be doing much gardening now that a lot has happened outside the perimeters of the Hammond Manor. But, nonetheless, we hope for the best. We hope we could get somewhere positive, at least in Dean's day 16. I don't know how, I don't remember. I kind of do now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, a lot went down on day 16 of Tyson's route, so there was a lot of hoedown on that, so I wonder how it will vary with today's day 16. And if it's pretty similar, I might just go through it again just because I forgot about it. I don't know, man. Oh my goodness. Maybe it's because my other light is not on. Maybe if I turn this light on, I'll become unhot. Thanks, Perpy. Just reminded me to get my whole setup done. Oh, you played through Kingsguard. I haven't heard of Kingsguard, but... Oh, you're sad? Oh, oh no! What did I say? Retract the message. I'm hoping it was a fun game and that hopefully the game didn't make you too sad. Anyway, subscriber. Aw, thanks Victor. Victor Kolka, you just subscribed to a dork. That dork is me. Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, my subscriptions get notifications midstream, my donations. I think there was one other one, but I don't think it's ever been used. There's super chat, subscribers. Might be merch? I forgot what that third one was. It's never happened, so I never paid attention to it. Even though I did record it back in the day. Oh man, this lighting is, woof. It's nice, but, oh man, showing how dusty my screen is. Gotta brush you all off. There you go, y'all are clean now. We can only have clean streams on here. As you can see with my holy tissue. Shin's gonna take that out of context, isn't he? Alright, so. Y'all ready? I think we should start around the 5-minute mark. I do not have too much else to say other than my plan to start at 7 kind of went awry when I had a bit of a headache around 5 or 6, took a nap, woke up at 7:15. Tried to start this stream, and then, yeah, now we're here. So, the reading starts at 5 minutes. I am a very derpy panda. Thanks, FP Productions. Hello. Yeah, at least the stream quality is better now. It just was uploading a certain clip for one of my abridged videos that took me a while. Anyway, let's load up page 8, day 16. This is the end of day 15. We move on to day 16. Here we go. No sooner had he said that, I was out like in light. And of course I always have to save at the beginning of the day, just because my OCD be like. When I slept, I wasn't resting. Every day seemed to have more questions rather than answers. And those questions worried me to my core as to why they had even come up. The syringe, the vial, the rabbit. Even Oswin's rat had me swimming in both worry and confusion. What did it all mean? How did it all connect? Why did I feel like I was the center of it all? Then there was the vault. What was so important to have stored on the other side? What exactly was the thing that had made me see the things that I did, if not that room itself? But most importantly, who was marked for death? Why? I opened my eyes and saw it was sometime early in the morning. I wasn't tired anymore, though. Too distracted with my thoughts to rest. Dean was still sleeping peacefully, his arm around my shoulder and my head resting against his chest. Part of me wanted this to feel right, or to feel different somehow. Whatever it was that we called our friendship or relationship at this point should have brought me some level of relief, but it just wasn't. Had I tricked myself into liking him more than I actually did because it was easy? Was it peer pressure from the others? Stress from everything going on? I liked Dean, but maybe not enough. Easing myself out of his grip, I swung my legs over to the side of the bed and sat up to stretch and rub my face. The perks of a swiveling chair. Maybe a walk would do me some good. And after throwing on some clothes, I headed out of the room. Carefully, I wandered downstairs with my hands in my pockets. Quietly, in case someone was around. Or maybe it was because I was listening out for anything else that might be wrong. In the middle of the foyer, I looked around. And all I could hear was the faint white noise that came with absolute silence. I checked the air next, breathing in deep through my nose. Nothing out of the ordinary. The lingering smell of food from the kitchen. Benson somewhere nearby. But that's about it. Sighing out, I wandered towards the back door and placed my hands carefully on it to look out the window. The world was still, and I could see Benson standing in the middle of the back deck, looking out at the woods. Easing open the door, I peeked around it using it as a barrier while I tried to get Benson's attention. "You're doing a poor job of being subtle, Dave. But no need to be afraid. There's nothing but us here right outside right now." Alright. I stayed by the door just in case, but was now solidly outside for the first time since being out in the woods. How did... As expected, there hasn't been anything anything of note. Just a quiet night with my thoughts. I'm assuming that your thoughts are what's keeping you up. No, I slept, but... Yeah. I guess with everything going on, I just... Sighing out, I wandered a little closer and scratching my arm. This was meant to be a vacation. You know, something fun. But now I'm just... Well, I've broken down and cried, so that's... Okay, maybe that was a good thing. But the road blowing up? Yes, that, is something that troubles me as well. Not in that our escape method is cut off, but for whoever blew it up in the first place as well. Huh. There's no other way off the mountain? Unless some new way has been invented, I see no means to land aircraft on the mountain either. Not enough level terrain or wide enough space. Well, shy of the area around the mill, but trust that Oswin and I would have noticed a helicopter. Benson scratched his mustache, sighing out. Although with how much of a shut-in Oswin is, it's a wonder he notices anything these days. Is that why the security system is there? So he can keep tabs while he's safely in his lab? That's what he'd claim. Although, to be fair, I was the one that did most of the installing. Can't be too careful when what visitors you do have are those with a lot of money and power, with rarely the wisdom to know how to use either. You're talking about Orlando's dad again? Among other things. It's no different to when their parents were around, given the company was much the same. Consider it part of the package deal being wealthy grants you, my boy. I'm kinda thankful that... Well, I guess my family wasn't well off. I wouldn't say that. From what I understood, your mother had quite the salary, and your father had a well-paying job as well. I guess that's true. I never really saw it that way. Rarely do those with money understand just how fortunate they are over those who do not have it. Much in the same way, those that do not have money have no grasp of what it's like to have it. As they say, ignorance is bliss. But I don't think that's right at all. No? Well, Tyson was dirt poor, and I shared what I had with him because it felt fairer that way. And Orlando. He always had neat toys, but he'd share them with me. New games and stuff. Then I'm glad that the newer generation is at least somewhat more aware of those around them. Or perhaps it's just your natural magnetism at work, Dave. It could be. But I don't think I'll ever know. From what I've seen, you've done well in rallying your friends together. After all, they were willing to search the house for you in hopes of finding a gun they did not know even existed. Where did that gun ever end up? Just... with Oswin, right? Let's see. I believe the night you were looking for the gun, I had it in my possession. I handed it off to Oswin the day after. Granted, it wasn't the only gun I had with me, as I was cleaning both his and mine that day. Proper gun maintenance is a good habit to practice. I almost jumped when I heard the door behind me shift. I jumped so hard I couldn't even speak. Ugh. I almost jumped when I heard the door behind me shift, stepping away from it as someone stepped out to join us in the morning air. What's this? Having a conversation at this hour? I believe Dave was just having some trouble sleeping and wants someone to talk to. Hardly surprising. How much danger do you think we're in? Like, surely you've been in dangerous situations before, right? That's an interesting question. I do believe that most of the situations Oswin has found himself in exude all the bad ones I've circumvented from him even noticing. I'm not a child, Benson. I'll have you know I'm no full well when you've been up to something for my own good. Then I shall keep this in mind the next time Roswell makes a pass at your cereal, and I'll let you step in personally. I want to go get some cereal right now just to make fun of this situation. It wasn't Roswell that stole the cereal, but I that stole Oswin's cereal. Yes, I got Fruit Loops the other day because guilty pleasure as a child, and I'd only ever get them at hotels because my parents would never buy me Fruit Loops as a kid. So, as an adult, I realized I can buy all the Fruit Loops I want. And bought them. Yep, so that's my thing. And, oh, thanks on the 3 subscriber congrats from Perpy, along with all your other comments about Benson. Interesting. And you did have an interesting question that I didn't answer earlier. This isn't the same update technically as the Tyson update. Tyson's Day 16 was updated separately, and then the next month, Dean and everybody else's Day 16 got updated, so I think everybody's did. But yeah, everybody's Day 16 is now up to date. So that's what this update is. But yeah, I can't believe it, 3K. It's now at like 3.01 when I was like checking the studio. I was like, wow, y'all love me. Really? Like, I just can't believe it. But yeah, I should keep going before I ruin Oswin's mood as I stole his cereal. He's looking at me angrily right now. I'm gonna eat them in front of his face one day, I swear. Anyway, let's keep going. Then I shall keep this in mind the next time Roswell makes a pass at your cereal, and I'll let you step in personally. Oswin huffed, shaking his head. That boy will learn one day where the line is drawn. But is today that day, sir? I'd hardly think you'd be so monogamous to drop all your strong opinions after that show at breakfast. It may just be. It's something that, all things considered, I'd like to square away with him, just in case the worst happens. Not that. I don't like the idea of you two playing nice. Or I don't? Why don't you like the idea of them playing nice? Why, Dave? Answer that for me, damn it! Anyway. Not that. I don't like the idea of you two playing nice, but... Oh, wait. I totally misread it. Not that. I don't like the idea of you two playing nice. Okay. Context. Totally understood the context. But why are you awake? Much like you, I had too much on my mind to sleep. Untrue to any other day, you put on your lab coat rather than walk around in your pajamas. It's pajamas, but I like to say it like that because it's Australian spelled. Or British. It's not American. This is not how you spell it in American. I'll have you know that when I wear this lab coat, I intend to work. The day I take this off for good is the day I finally stop actively working on things. You understand, right, Dave? You wear that orange hooded sweater a fair bit, and I doubt you have more than one. I guess that's kind of the same, but it's mostly just comfortable. It's not even really mine, though. Although, I guess I've had it long enough that it may as well be. Pardon? Oh, the orange hoodie is Tyson's. Or was? Just some old thing he stretched out from wearing it too long. I just sort of got given it one day when I was cold and found it comfy. This was also mentioned on the Tyson route, but it's so tough when you're on the Dean route and you get a wholesome moment about Tyson. My heart. So like a hand-me-down. Can't say I've ever had that experience. No, that's because your upbringing told you there was no sense in not buying everything new. Maybe I'd understand it better if I had siblings growing up. But my parents bought all my things new as well. I mentioned this in the previous password episode, but I have an older brother, but we were always like opposites in terms of sizing things. Like some things would work, but most things like shoes or like waist size related pants would never fit each other, so I would not get those hand-me-downs. It was weird. Anyway, I'm not gonna eat the Fruit Loops now. Oswin's here. I can't let him see me eat the Fruit Loops. He's gonna bonk me. Maybe in a bit, though. I am getting kind of hungry. Maybe I'd understand better if I had siblings growing up. But my parents bought all my things new as well. Well, as someone that grew up with siblings, handing down old clothes and the like was hardly a foreign concept. When times were tough, you made do. Like, now? How do you mean? Or no, wait, that's Oswin. How do you mean? Although I suppose, in a broad sense, times are tough, but not for financial reasons. Oswin looked to Benson, giving him a quick study before nodding his head. I'm up now. Get some sleep, Benson. Chances are we're going to have quite a day ahead of us. Well, I don't think I'll be getting much sleep. I will, however, take you up on your offer. Good night, gentlemen. As Benson totally disintegrates into thin air, Benson gave a short bow before wandering back inside, leaving me alone with Oswin outside again. He gestured me towards the edge of the deck where we'd stood before and looked out over the backyard. It was a solid couple of minutes before he had said anything, quietly as if he was trying to keep me calm. You left an impression on me while last we spoke. Like, a few hours ago? That's right. I went into the lab and asked Thanatos what his take on this was. I stayed quiet, expecting him to elaborate on his own, not realizing the fact that he asked a rat for advice is completely normal to him. As I thought, he wasn't exactly helpful insofar as knowing anything new. Or at least that's what he says. Great, I guess. Oh, cheer up, boy. It's not all bad. We have a few tricks up our sleeve yet. Tricks? You're starting to sound like Roswell. I chuckled weakly, shaking my head. Or maybe it's a boar thing. Is this the part where I jokingly call you a racist? Yeah, I guess you would. Would it help you if I told you a secret? Perhaps what's beyond the vault door? Probably not. Knowing what's behind it isn't going to stop Jack and Orlando's dad from coming to take it away. Right? Perhaps, but you might then understand why I'm very interested in keeping it out of his hands. How bad can it be that you're putting us at risk by not just handing it over? I don't think Memphis really cares much about what I've hidden behind that door. Oh my god, Memphis! I'm banned from Twitter for saying that. No, I kid. I actually didn't, but wasn't there that whole thing on Twitter where you mentioned Memphis and you got banned from Twitter for some reason because of like a weird algorithm thing? Orlando be on Twitter like, why did I get banned for mentioning my dad's name? But if he were to find out then... Or no, wait. I read that in Osman's voice. Never mind. I don't think Memphis really cares much about what I've hidden behind that door. But if he were to find out then... Well... we'd have a lot more death on our hands. I grumbled for a bit before sighing out, shooting him a weird sideward glance. Okay, fine. What's behind the door? Behind the door is my greatest work, and my greatest failure. A single-dose vial of something that I never should have created. A poison? A cure. A poisonous cure? I frowned, trying to think about how that could be a bad thing. But he continued before I could raise the question. Or at least it should be when in reality... Or no, wait, that's also in saying that. Or at least it should be when in reality it isn't. So it is a poison. Not in the conventional sense, but let me explain it in a different way. What do you imagine would happen if a type of medicine existed that cured everything and anything? Well, that'd be great, right? No one would need to be sick. You could save countless lives. You'd think so, but alas, that's not the case. But it literally cures everything, doesn't it? The actual medicine would, yes. Oh, but think about the pharmaceutical companies making their money. The capitalist system would completely fall astray. They make their money off the sick, off those that can afford to buy medicine that may not work. Dave, sick people get desperate to do anything they can to survive. For every one of those people, another is in a position to take advantage. Take advantage how? Fakes. Cheaper alternatives that people would turn to only be given a saline solution for their efforts when they can't afford the real thing. But whoever made it could just make it cheap, right? Laughs in America. Not if it was expensive to make. But even then, this is assuming that it passes the medical board for medication. And there are a lot of interested parties in assuring that the sick stay sick. So the money keeps coming in. But that's awful. Yeah, it is. But that's how the world works. It's more problematic than that, too. Imagine all the people that would no longer have jobs because of this one medicine making everything they've worked on redundant. Overnight, you'd collapse a whole industry. Well, Good thing that the thing behind the vault door isn't that medicine then, right? Instead, we have... what? It's technically that very medicine, Dave, but tailored to one specific individual were they still able to take it. But alas, that time is long gone now. It may as well just be poison. Why aren't they able to take it? What would happen if I took it instead? Put simply, the person who it was made for can no longer take it. You cannot cure what they have, like with any other person who is dead. Well, that is a great way to kick the morning off. But if you took it, you'd assuredly die. Oh. It's alright, Dave. It serves as something for me to remember them by, that's all. When my time comes, I'm sure that someone will take care of what's behind that door for me. And if I need to die to protect it, then so be it. But for now, we'll need to ensure everyone's ready for the days ahead. Oswin backed away from the railing and scratched his chin. Speaking of, you best get some sleep if you can. What about you? I'll be fine. I've had some coffee, and trust that if you hear some gunshots, I have noticed are unwelcome guests on the property, and I'll give them a proper greeting. Isn't there anything else? Anything that all that I can do instead of... Wait, anything at all I can do instead to prepare? Not really. Not until everyone's awake. Although... He studied me over, deciding to not add anything more until I gestured for him to continue. The scavenger hunt. How's that faring? The question blindsided me, and I did a double take, wondering if I'd heard him correctly. I think we'd mostly forgotten about it with everything kinda happening. Shame. If you find any more of them, I would very much like you to continue searching. Really? With everything going on, you still want us to keep searching for those medals? I do. After all, they're very important. If anything, it will give you something to focus on that isn't impeding doom should it make any difference. I give him a funny look, but found myself yawning. Tiredness was creeping in and became more of a pressing need than arguing the point with him at this time of morning. Sweet dreams, Dave. I shall see you in a few hours. Making my way back upstairs, I wandered to the bed I spent the night in. Everything was as if I had never left. And I tried to make myself comfortable with everything still running through my head. I wondered just how dangerous this thing was behind the vault door. Or if it was just a tall tale to keep me distracted from the knife-toting rabbits somewhere in the woods. Sure enough, my eyelids were growing heavy, and cuddling down in the warm covers, I drifted off. Although, it was not long after that I found myself waking up with the day properly starting. In a daze, I woke up and got out of bed again. The few comments thrown my way I mumbled incoherently in reply to, but that seemed enough to get me by. I was still so tired. And I had hoped that I'd just end up passing out from exhaustion later, just as an excuse to have good rest. It felt strange to want to just pass out with the danger just out of view. But someone else could worry for a while in my place, right? Much like Benson had done already, but... again. Most of us ran into each other on the stairs. The lot of us, a combination of tired, restless, and hungry. It was only at the mention of food that I felt my stomach grumble, and the thought of eating made me feel a little more normal. This was our routine now. Gather together, someone would go into the kitchen to get food, and we'd eat and chat. Or at least it was. Now that we're all just sitting at the table, unsure of what it was meant to happen now.
So, how did everyone sleep last night?
Everyone's attention went to Dean, although no one replied immediately.
That bad, huh? I didn't do too badly, all things considered. Could have been worse.
It's not that, Dean. We're all kind of rattled. The road blowing up was certainly... What I mean is no one could have seen that coming. I'm with you there. If the whole road is gone, then someone was planning on making sure that we couldn't get away.
But we didn't do anything to anyone. At least I didn't.
None of us did. This is just... bad luck? I thought you had all the luck, Roswell. Shouldn't that... you know... As much as I'd usually agree with you, I guess my luck just didn't pan out this time, Dave.
Luck or no luck, what's the plan? Are we able to just wait until someone comes looking? Are we wandering down the main road?
Oh, with that lunatic in the woods? No way we should go out there. Plus, do you know how long it'd take to get anywhere? Well, if we got to the main road, that should be fine, right? Hail down a car, and we could... hitchhike?
Don't think that's going to work. Too many of us and well, we don't know just how bad the damage is, do we? One wrong move and we'd be in trouble.
So, we're stuck, right? We're certain that we're stuck? I turned to the other three, seeing if they had anything to add. The moment I did, however...
We're not stuck. Not if we accept that there's danger.
But the woods, right? That's literally where the danger is.
I think I get it. If they got into the woods, then they must be able to get off if they set off the bomb, yeah? The only place we haven't searched is the woods.
Sal nodded quickly, shooting Dean a quick look.
We could try going through the forest if worst comes to worst.
I'm not going out there. Not until I can be sure that I'm not going to be chased by him again.
Not even if we all went together. Dude, are you seriously suggesting safety in numbers? How the fuck is that going to work if we have no idea where we're going? It's not the best plan, or even the safest, but at least we can have an option should things get to the point where we can't stay here.
That's all well and good, but that doesn't help us figure out what to do now. Any luck with our phones? We all reached into our pockets and checked, but after a few moments it was clear that whatever signal we had still wasn't available to us. Meanwhile, Roswell started eating Oswin's cereal on camera. Sorry, I just got really hungry. Or I should do that in Roswell's accent. Sorry. I just got really hungry. So that's a no. Whatever happened with the landline idea? I can answer that. Our eyes went to the door, seeing Oswin standing there with his arms folded, looking disapprovingly at Roswell with his box of cereal. I swear to God, if Oswin came to life, he would strangle me right now. He stepped closer to the table, adjusted his glasses, and continued. The landline idea failed because there isn't one. How do you not have a landline? Who am I going to want to contact? I have a cell phone, as does Benson. I can assure you that there are very few people I contact with it, and I'd much rather do my correspondence in person anyway. Speaking of, how is he?
Having been up all night, I imagine he's resting. Right?
Yeah, they tagged out. However long ago it was. That's right. Although in the time I've been keeping watch, I've not had to worry about firing off my gun. Nothing has appeared as far as I could tell.
And we are sure you just didn't miss anything?
Oswin grunted, shooting Roswell a dirty look.
Give me back my cereal, you motherfucker.
Yes, I'm positive. So for the time being, we should be alright. They're not going to make a move now that we're all awake, are they? It's hard to say. Truth be told, it would make sense for any movement to be made during daylight for general navigation. Even a rabbit would know better than to make a move in the dark. Why? I thought they could see in the dark. That's racist! No, I kid. They can. But us on high alert would no doubt make for a poor move. Whoever is out there is outnumbered. Sure, but now that it's day, we're all awake. If we stay in groups, picking us off to get to what they're after will be that much harder. So, stick together while we do what exactly? Search for a way to safety? Off this mountain, I mean.
That, restricts our search to just around the house if we're staying as far away from danger as possible, right? That doesn't give us many options for finding things to get away from the house.
Well, as it turns out, there is something else you could be searching for. Oswin, when he's like, metals. Everybody panics about dying. Oswin, metals. What is it? I'm glad you asked. The metals. There was a confused silence shared amongst those at the table after he spoke. Looks were exchanged as Oswin's smile faded. Roswell steals the cereal back while this happens.
My cereal, bitch.
You may believe this to just be a game Roswell and Benson devised, but I assure you that along with coming out of this month alive, fulfilling the scavenger hunt to the best of your ability is equally important.
How the fuck is that more important than getting out of here alive? I thought that it was only meant to be a game. Is it something to keep us distracted from thinking about being in danger constantly?
Partially. Although I did say it was equally important and not more so. Indulge me or not, it's ultimately your call. Much like you, I have no idea where they are. Well, we found some at least. Show me. Oswin finds the half-broken medal. Oswin panic. Oswin just wants that medal. Well, it's not like they're here with us now. Why would we be carrying them with us? Fine. Then you can describe them then.
If you give us a couple of minutes, we can go retrieve them. It shouldn't be too hard. Come on, Tyson. Give me a hand, please. Fine. Most of them are just in your room. Right, Dave?
I think so. I just kind of left them laying around so you'd see them pretty easily. With that, the pair left in a hurry, but importantly, together. It seemed the idea of sticking in numbers was already unquestionably a good idea. Now then, while we wait for them to get back, I've been meaning to ask if no one is hungry. I would have expected coffee on the table by now. I guess we've all just not really been in the mood to do anything about it. Hardly surprising. Although you can't just not eat. You should all have seen how well that fared for Dave in his throes of sadness. I'm right here! I'm very well aware. All the more reason you should all at least eat something, lest you go the day without an empty stomach. I remember what it's like to go days without food, and oh, it's not pleasant.
Well, I could make scrambled eggs, toast, everything. Everyone fine with that?
I'll come help, I guess. Someone better make the coffee while you're sorting that out anyway. I'm gonna take a pause here at the 47.5-minute mark to eat some cereal, 'cause I am hungry. Don't worry, we normally take like a couple minutes for a break. Yes, gimme cereal. I love them Fruit Loops. I'm not sure if I should turn off the camera for this, because sometimes I feel rude just eating on camera. Then again, this could be a mukbang? Chewing does intensify. Normally I'm not a fan of like hearing people chew and whatnot myself, so I might just mute myself if I do this. What do y'all think? Should I turn off the mic for a bit and eat? Or just even turn off the camera and eat? I was going to have dinner after this, so it's gonna be a late dinner for me, let's just say that. But yeah, damn, Fruit Loops, I miss those. Yes, eat. Alright, I'll be back in a couple minutes then. Oh, yes, eat, no. You're confusing me, you're giving me mixed messages. Your choice. Aw, thanks. I'm probably just gonna do that at this point, so I won't take too long. I'm just gonna eat some cereal. Anyway. Sorry for the long break, everybody. I was just busy fighting off Oswin. Alright, we're back. But yeah, somebody asked about, like, my chewing, like, if I feel my jaw pop. Kinda, it's a weird scenario. Like, it feels like there is a little bit of, like, a missing piece of the bone or cartilage, I guess, in that area. I feel like my jaw's, like, just from playing sports a lot and just getting hit in the face one too many times with volleyballs. Yeah, so I do kind of have that a little bit of a sound to my jaw a little bit. Hopefully it's going to get better. But yeah, I've improved it from time being. It was way worse last year. But yeah, I managed to get some kind of like therapy for it, and that helped. Turns out Dirk never comes back because Austin came for his cereal. I was hoping to maybe do that and just take my time, but I can't take you guys on that long of a ride. We're not in that long of a long run. Or long haul, whatever the phrase is. Hold on, I'm just gonna... Yep. Just, yeah, getting something out. Yeah, there's actually a city on it that's actually normal how I heard it through the mic. I'm a bit confused, but okay. But anyway, I'm looking forward to continuing then. Let's start at 54 and a half. Longer break than usual, but I just wanted to get some food in me before I continue on. Oswin is the serial killer. Oh, that's a good one. Excuse me, before we continue. Perfect joke, Trinix. Alright, let's continue. Dean and Orlando wandered towards the kitchen while Oswin made himself comfortable at the table. The silence was uncomfortable, mostly because we all weren't sure what was going to happen next. Tyson and Sal returned after a little bit, dumping what medals they found on the table and sitting down. It wasn't long before Dean and Orlando emerged again, having hurried the preparation of breakfast just so they could rejoin the group. So, these are the medals. This many? Oh, I didn't expect you to have been so diligent. I looked at the medals on the table with a frown. There weren't that many, and even what we did, we found by sheer luck outside the one we directly got a hint for. We're quite resourceful, I'll have you know. Takes the cereal from Oswin again. Okay, that joke needs to die. Roswell, I put this down to sheer dumb luck more than anything you consciously did. In any case, what have we got of the set?
First one is Aquarius, found in the hedge maze by Orlando.
Sal blurted out a quick apology for going out into his room to get the medal, to which Orlando just waved it off. Aquarius. Ooh, right. What's next? I pointed out the medal that I had found in the greenhouse quickly, speaking up. I found this one underneath the giant pumpkin in the greenhouse. The pumpkin? That's a bizarre place to have found it. But no doubt there are other, more obscure places that these things could be found. I almost tripped over it, so... yeah. Given that pumpkin has been growing there for quite a while, it's a wonder anyone found it. But this one is Taurus.
Hold on. Can we just back up and find out why you know which one is which?
Why wouldn't I? The medals belong to my family.
What about this one? The one Dave and I found at the river.
In the river? If you mean the one out in the woods. Oh, I'm baffled as why it was all the way out there. Okay. But which one is it? Pisces. That makes sense though, because that's the fish one. Come on. Come on, too much of a coincidence there.
So the one with the fishes got found in the river.
Even Haas knows. God damn it.
Isn't that a little on the nose?
Does it mean anything bad?
I don't believe so. If anything, I would say it's a childish prank from someone that should have known better. I guess the important part is that we found it, right? If we never went out there, we probably never would have found this one. And for that, I'm thankful. So... what now? Did we do good? Well, it's hardly a complete set, but you're making progress. Plenty more to go, however. Should pose enough of a thing to focus on to distract you from what dangers are lurking in the woods. If not that, I have something else to offer. Such as... what? $1 million. Each.
Oh, what? What did you say?
Too low? Make it 2 million then. I honestly don't care either way. Oswin, that's a lot of money!
You're really reckless with your money, you know that?
Oh, am I?
Dude, you can't just casually drop numbers like that. 7 million without batting an eye? Normal people just can't do that.
I don't understand the issue. None of you are normal. So, whoa. I wasn't paying attention to anyone other than Oswin, and that's why the spoon that flew across the table that smacked him across the face made me do a double take. I think that was Roswell that did it. Yep, Roswell.
$2 million is not a paltry sum of money. And we don't need to be bribed to go along with stuff just because.
Does that warrant a spoon flung across the table, boy? Have you no table manners?
If we're talking propriety, I don't think you have any right to judge me, Mr. I'm throwing money at problems.
How dare you, boy? God, stop! You're acting like children!
Well, I might be young enough, but what's his excuse?
You did this with Tyson, and now you're doing it with Oswin, Roswell. Not cool. We have other things to be stressing us out without you adding to the mix.
But that's a lot of money.
Money that I'm free to do with as I choose. It's going to do a lot more good as an incentive to stave off worry than sitting around in my bank account.
If you're offering the money, then fine. We'll take it. He clearly doesn't want it, and if we get out of this alive, the money would be nice to cover whatever therapy we might need to put this behind us.
Is it really okay?
Of course it's not!
The offer has been made. Should you wish to take the money after all is said and done, or refuse, we can deal with it then. Is this fine, Roswell? Roswell seemed to be grumbling to himself, but said nothing to refute him. I noticed Sal carefully siding the cutlery away from him, lest any more went airborne, and threw me a quick nod when he seemed satisfied nothing was in reach. I'll take that as a yes. And on that note, I shall leave you to it. I take it you already have your assigned buddies for your game. That shall do it for now. For what?
Buddy system for staying safe, remember? Guess if we're looking for medals again, it would make sense that we may as well do it in the teams we started with.
Indeed. My eyes went to Tyson, wondering where he'd go.
Don't worry about your brother, Dave. Roswell and I will keep him company while you and Dean partner up as usual.
We will?
Dude, I don't think you have any room to question or call on this after lobbing a spoon at Aswin. Not your smartest moment for sure.
Fine. Although I want to clear it that I'm fine with it regardless of you deciding it for us or not.
Great. With our group set and something resembling a task under our belts, we ate what food we were in the mood for before splitting off. One last time, dang it. I dropped one. Sorry, I shouldn't talk with my mouth full. I dropped one. Luckily, just on my lap. But that's everything we ate before splitting off. As we all broke off, I followed Dean. After all, as my partner, we had to stick together, right? What I didn't expect was for him to make a beeline towards the basement. Dean? Why are we down here? His ears perked the moment I broke the silence, and he turned to me slowly.
Oh, I just figured we'd check the vault, right?
Why?
Well, we're looking for metals. It's been something you've been messing with. So maybe it'd give us a clue?
Trust me. That thing won't give us anything other than showing me things I don't want to see.
Have you ever been down here with someone when it happened? Anyone?
I quickly shook my head.
We could. Maybe try messing with it if you want. Might be better with someone to keep you safe rather than doing it all alone.
Walking past Dean towards the door leading into the room, I peered in, before closing the door to the vault closed. No, I don't want to.
Yeah, alright.
Dean, can I be honest about something?
Of course.
Do you think things would have been better if we just didn't come on this vacation?
How could they have been worse? Dave, we're being hunted and I almost lost you.
I scratched my head before shaking it, thoughtful. Well, let's take us for example.
Alright, though I think we're doing fine. Now at least.
That's what I mean. Are we doing fine? Would we be if we never came here?
Oh, okay. I get it.
Dean sat down and rested back against one of the walls, running his hands through his fur.
We're doing alright, aren't we?
I sat down next to him and mimicked how he was sitting, looking out into the empty basement. I don't know. Maybe?
Well, that's reassuring.
No, I mean, we're good as friends. That much I know, right?
Right. But you're wondering if we're good as something more than that, too?
I guess? Think back to the picnic. You weren't sure if it was a date. I thought it was. How long were we just going to keep doing things like that without, getting anywhere?
You're right. That's probably one of the few things that this vacation has done right. Probably done more for Tyson than it has for any of us.
And Haas. Although, I guess that's still a Tyson thing.
I know what you're getting at, and it's... Well, what did you want me to say? That I like you? That I'm bad at this?
Nah, I don't think going over that's going to help anyone, Dean.
Then... what?
If we're... I mean...
In danger.
Right. So...
So we're at the point of wondering if dating is even worth it if we could be dead tomorrow.
I whined, hanging my head. I guess so. Yeah. Maybe not as dire as that, but it's kind of like that.
Well, what if we're not dead tomorrow?
What do you mean?
I'm not going to pretend that this is all, I don't know, fixed by saying that. But if we start by thinking that nothing's worth doing anymore because there's no point then, what's the point of anything? I like you. I'm not perfect. In fact, no one is. I would like to keep dating, but if you decide you don't want to because of everything going on, I'd completely understand.
And if I did want to keep dating, I mean,
Then we'd take it one step at a time. Truth be told, I've been kind of planning something.
what kind of something?
Just something nice. Figured it might help lift the mood a little with everything bad going on.
Okay. But what is it?
It's a surprise. But nothing's locked in yet.
Oh. Okay.
So, what do you say?
I stole a glance at his face, and he was just smiling at me sweetly. If the circumstances were different, I'd lose myself in that smile and feel cozy and warm. As it turned out, though, things were just too stressful to worry about whether or not this was going to be another good thing or go bad. That smile. That damn smile. Dean. He took my hand in his and gave it a gentle squeeze.
It's alright, Dave. I understand.
But I didn't say anything.
I don't know you as well as your closer friends, but I picked up a few things from the time we spent together.
You have?
Sure, I can tell when you're thoughtful, when you're thinking about something. Just watching how you interact with the others, I can tell when you don't want to upset someone.
You're not upset, are you?
A little disappointed, maybe, but not sad. There'll be other chances, maybe, but we have more pressing things to worry about.
Dean, I'm sorry. I really am.
What for? There's nothing you need to apologize for.
Sure feels like I do. I know how much you want to be doing the dating thing, right?
I do, but I know I can be a bit much. Maybe we could just wait until things settle down again instead.
Yeah. That'd probably be better.
And if you decide after everything you don't want to, that's fine too.
I settled back against the wall again and closed my eyes. Can I ask you something, actually?
Of course. What's up?
This sounds serious from your tone. Maybe a little, but not for the reasons you could possibly think.
What's troubling you, Dave?
How are you so upbeat right now? Have I just forgotten how to be, happy?
Don't be silly. Of course you haven't forgotten. Times are rough for us now, and there's very little to be actively happy about. But in the off chance you have forgotten, at least it's something you can remember.
But what about you? How are you keeping it together?
I have the blessing of not needing to worry about recovering from what you have to.
What do you mean?
Oh, come on, Dave. You're Dad. You have that to work through first, and when you do the rest, it will come easy.
Carefully, I opened my eyes and looked at Dean. I felt vulnerable having this part exposed for him. But here I was on the verge of tears again. But the moment I felt his hand squeeze mine, I whimpered and broke. A quiet whine preceding tears. I don't know what to do, Dean. I'm scared. No, terrified about what's going to happen next. What if we never get home? What if one of you guys die? What if it's my fault?
Dave, listen to yourself. You're trying to carry the weight of all this alone.
But it's my responsibility, isn't it? I can use the vault. Who else is going to? Going to? I couldn't finish, instead whining again and realizing that my face was completely drenched. Dean removed his hand from mine and used it instead to put around my shoulders in a hug.
You can use the vault, sure, but the one person who you failed to take into consideration here is you.
I don't matter! I yelped as Dean suddenly smacked me across the face. Ow! What was that for?
Don't you dare say you don't matter. Ever.
Okay. Fine.
When you went wandering into the woods, you worried all of us. I'm not about to say I felt the most worried, but I did feel hurt you'd go in there by yourself after what happened last time.
You're right. I caught myself before I was going to sigh, frowning instead. Wait. Jack.
Jack?
Yeah. He was out there with us that day. In the woods.
The thing you saw. That was him?
It must be, right? But if it was, why didn't he approach me then? Strength in numbers.
Now, that's a good question. What changed between the time we went out and when you went out by yourself? Anything you could think of?
Nothing immediately comes to mind. At least nothing that involved him anyway.
Well, alright. I guess something we should just keep in mind then.
Still, I shouldn't have gone out there by myself.
No, you shouldn't. But at least we can count our blessings that nothing worse happened. What happened was bad enough already.
Yeah. I sniffled, rubbing the spot where Dean had struck me. You didn't have to hit so hard, you know.
Sorry. Hearing you act that way just set something off in me. I do care about you, you know. I just didn't think.
Didn't think is right.
At least you snapped out of it.
I guess so.
Oh, come on. Let's see if we can find a medal. Keep ourselves distracted. Right?
He stood up and offered his hand out to me, and I took it to rise to my feet. Yeah. They aren't going to find themselves. And while we're here... No! Don't do it! Leading the way, I entered the room with the vault and stopped in front of the door.
Dave, reckon one will be here?
I wasn't looking for a medal, but something was telling me that I wanted to have a proper look at the room that had been causing me so much grief. Probably not, but... Running my hands over the wall, I thought back to when Roswell and I were here after the hedge maze. Wondering if there was a compartment we overlooked or some other clue I'd missed. Dean had decided to poke at the input panel, but I didn't hear the telltale beep of an incorrect password being entered. What are you doing?
Just thinking.
About...
Robots. Or like, I guess building machines, really.
You're a gardener, though, right?
And a woodsman. I told you I could never figure out how to make the robots do what they do, but I could put something together, right?
Right. But this is closer to a computer, isn't it?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because, well, we're in the basement.
Okay.
You don't just add a basement. Not without a lot of effort. I guess if you could afford a mansion, putting in a room underground wouldn't be too hard with enough money.
Okay, but... why do you think that's important?
Easy. This is an old house. And this here is way more modern than some of the architecture.
Meaning... what?
Well, I don't want to go pulling this panel off the wall, but, it's got me just wondering what it's connected to. Maybe I should ask someone.
Benson did say not to damage the house when we got here, right? He did say that.
Even if he didn't, it'd be a good idea. No sense breaking anything we don't have to. We're not that desperate. Not yet.
Right. Well, I don't think there's anything here that's going to help us, Dean.
Want to try punching in some words and see where that gets you?
I'd rather... not. Not right now, anyway.
Then, time to search somewhere else?
Taking another look around the room, I tried to convince myself that there was nothing else of value to look at while we were here. Sure enough, there wasn't as far as I could tell. Yeah. I guess so. We continued on and searched some of these side rooms just to keep ourselves occupied. Dean didn't say much, and neither did I. At least until lunch. Then after, it was right back to searching, although there was a lot more idle chatter to fill the space. And in our own little world, it almost felt like it was just another quiet day hanging out together. When we all gathered for dinner, it was almost as if there wasn't a homicidal rabbit in the woods. We all sat down and seemed to be in higher spirits in general. At some point, Osmond and Benson had swapped out from keeping watch, and given the lack of gunshots, it seemed we were still without any extra guests. It brought me some relief, but still had me anxious. Almost like the prospect of someone threatening to pop a balloon inches from your face but without telling you when or why. But still, it seemed that Osmond and Benson were discussing who should keep watch next. And with how Benson was fussing over Osmond, it reminded me of Dad. Granted, Benson was shorter than Osmond by a fair bit, but he seemed to comply, if begrudgingly, to whatever it was that Benson had decided for the two of them. No one else seemed to have turned up anything as far as medals went either. But progress was progress, even if it was just getting us back into the motions of looking for them. We ate dinner, and everything was surprisingly normal. But as I ate, something started to eat at me again. Something about this morning that made me just wonder what I should do next. Thankfully, I knew exactly who to ask. Oswin, can we talk? The two of them turned to me as I lingered halfway through the open door to the backyard. We can. Did you require privacy? If you'll need it, I can step inside should you wish. No, it's fine. Stepping out so I was in the night air. I breathed in deep and looked around. So far, so good. Even with the familiar feeling of that night chill nipping at my fur. Is everything all right? Did you find a medal by any chance? No, not that. Then what is it? I was just thinking about everything that had happened up until this point. Wondering about, what our next move should be. After all, we can't just continually be on the lookout, right? You do have a point, my boy. Have you thought of any ideas on what we should do? Not really, but I did have a question. He's starting to remind me of Roswell. In what way? God damn it, the joke is dead. He's been quizzing me a lot lately about what we should do as well. What the next move should be and such. After all, his idea of a vacation has been tainted by this unfortunate arrival. Question after question, that young boy takes after his mother for sure. Dave didn't come out here to hear y'all reflect on Roswell when he's clearly got something on his mind. Right, well, it's the thing behind the vault door. What about it? You said this morning that, we can't let that get into the hands of someone bad because of what they could do with it. But if we destroyed it, then what's the risk? Osmond huffed, standing stiff. Alas, I don't know the code to the door, so that plan is a failure from the get-go. Well, you don't, but Benson does, right? The two of them looked to one another quickly before turning back to me. That's a tad more complicated than I've let on, Dave. But how? You said if we could just find all the medals we got, what was on the other side? Wait. You said if we could find all the medals, we got what was on the other side. But that's just because you're gatekeeping for the sake of the game, right? Yes, and no, regrettably. I don't like the sound of this. I know the password to thing inside the vault. There's a containment vessel holding what we spoke about, but that's not tied to the vault mechanism. Unless I told you, you'd struggle to get past the security on that thing. Beyond that, however, I'm sorry to have to inform you that while I can ensure that you're allowed whatever's beyond that door should you find the medals, as of right now, the password eludes me as well. Wait, so that door can't be opened at all? I don't understand. What's the risk of just handing it over then and we can just take a hike back home? Do you know how to remove a basement from a mountaintop building, Dave? We cannot simply just hand it over from the room to him. But it's not the room at all, is it? It's something else, and unless he's like, I don't know, a genius like you are, I don't think it's that dangerous. I'd refrain from stroking his ego if I were you. Still, perhaps there is something we can do to stave off some danger. Perhaps meeting with this rabbit could warrant some thought. I'm not meeting with that rabbit again. Once was bad enough. Wait, you met him before? I'd hardly call it a meeting, but he was present the last time Memphis Noble came toting up in his limousine. Why is this only coming up now? You got a good look at him, right? Unlike Oswin, who is prone to jump the gun, literally, when it comes to our lagomorphic visitors, I prefer to be certain before taking action. If it is indeed the same Jock, and I'm almost positive it is, he's more useful to us alive. He tried to kill me! All the more reason we should do away with him before we get the chance. He's trespassing. He wants the vault, and wants to know if Benson's still alive. Which, I guess he should know about now, right? So long as I'm around, I think we should be alright. After all, what's the worst he alone can do? He literally was going to stab me! Fair point. Regardless, we have no bargaining chip we can hand over to make him leave us alone either. My head started to hurt, and without realizing it, I'd closed my eyes and clutched my temple. Interesting. What is? Just you. I worry that come the mouths, just you. I worry that come the month's end, your head is going to be hurting a lot more if you keep using the vault. I could just be dehydrated, maybe. Thanks for reminding me to drink, Dave. Always helpful to get reminders on hydration. If you wish for an injection, I can oblige. But in lieu of Benson's disapproval, let me say that I imagine the vault is doing a number on your psyche. Remembering events from past iterations of the timeline. Who knows what change that could have on you, or how lasting it may be. That's enough, Oswin. He's not one of your lab rats. Thanatos has a brother. Thanatos has a brother I haven't met? No, it's just him.
just as well. I have no fondness for that thing.
It's a rat, Benson. If you say so. Now, was there anything else? I guess not. But if there's ever a plan of what to do next, can I be told first? Or if not first, just one of the first?
I shall endeavor to ensure that for your peace of mind, Dave.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Was there anything else? Just one more question, but for Benson.
Oh? What is it, my boy?
If we got you all the medals, what do you plan to do with them? Do they make a key? Do they have some special thing that lets you open the door, or... Benson looked at Oswin, who quirked a brow curiously at him in kind.
That's a complicated question. Probably one best answered once all the medals are found.
Try me. If I leave now, I'll probably be up thinking about it.
He's got you there. Oh, very well. I have my orders in that should all the medals be found, I'm to prove it, and in turn I'll get the password to the vault door for essentially granting to whomever I so choose.
I never gave you such orders.
Indeed. This one was a directive issued by your sister. She's here? Oh, I highly doubt that, sir. This request from her came long before Dave and his friends arrived. Truth be told, I was a bit confused as to why I'd be given one. But such is serving the Hammond family, after all.
But with the phones not working, I guess calling her or snapping a picture is going to be impossible.
Quite. However, I'm sure I'll figure something out. I'm a man of my word, after all.
I could almost hear Oswin grinding his teeth in frustration from where I stood, but he stayed quiet. Okay, well, I guess I'll head on to bed then. And, thanks?
You're very welcome, Dave. Good night.
I headed back inside and wandered up to my room. The house was quiet without being silent. The others were around, some chatting, some just minding their own business, but how they moved hinted that they were still there. It eased the tightness in my chest that I didn't realize I was still holding there. Closing the door behind me, I sighed out and had a shower. For my own sake, I need to make sure I stayed on top of that, as the routine would keep me focused. Wait, that's it? What? I'm very confused. That's the end of the demo. Ah, that's it? I thought the other Day 16 ended with, like... Where the heck is it? Yeah, I thought it ended with, like, a black screen. Oh gosh, I must be going crazy. But the end of the reading happens at 1 minute and 37 minutes. Don't worry, I'm just gonna type it in quickly. End of demo. Yeah, I really can't wait for the next update too there. This is getting interesting. We are really starting to get into the nitty-gritty of... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take that out as a joke, but yeah. That, just closing it. Anyway, yeah, we're really starting to get a feel for what's going on around there. I mean, not too much has gotten worse, but not too much has gotten better at the same time. So hopefully we can improve relations with Dean, hopefully, and just somehow make some progress on this whole case. Tyson's Root had some very interesting things we unveiled, but Dean's also does have interesting stuff too, I guess. I guess just in personal relations, that is. But yeah, looking forward to it too. I don't know if they're gonna do like day 17 for a while, or if they're gonna do like the C and the D routes for a bit, because we are on path A of both Tyson's and Dean's. Hopefully path A is a good thing for us, for both of them, but only time will tell. But yeah, it's better than the C and the D endings, that's for sure. Or D paths, let's just say. Yeah, good question, Trinix just answered it, but yeah, path A for Dean, path A for Tyson, so both are path A. Yeah, but that's it. I might end things here if nobody else has anything to say. I know some places close at 10 p.m. and it's like 9:45 and my internal mind is just like, oh shoot, will they close like some of the restaurants I was thinking about going out to tonight? Or just one, but you know. It's gonna go to one, but you know what I mean. Anyway. Let's take your time to load. Anyway, I, as always, love to thank my patrons and just really appreciate your support. Recently, your support has helped me expand my Google Drive so I can put more of my videos up there for my editors to, or well, just my one editor to use, so I've been really happy about, you know, using funds for that. I'm using them for business expenses, I swear. Yeah, but I also use it for that, also using it for helping with my VN commissions. Yeah, just helping improve my content overall, and just, yeah, even paying my editor too. Just, yeah, it's all good stuff, and yeah, there are great perks of being a patron, which include the early releases of Ocean Avenue, exclusive Not Safe for Work readings that are exclusive to patrons, and yeah, there's even a $10 up commission that you can get me to voice act something for you of your choice. But let's get on with our fellow patrons. They're all dorks to me, but we'll start off with my fellow dorks, the $3 and above tier. North Grizz, Andrew Corona, Nick Tanner, Taipei Roth, Norbert Dudzik, Scion, Magram Wolfram, and the Dewey Nguyen. And I want to give a very, very special thanks to my exclusive dorks. Forgot to mention fellow dorks is $3 and above. Exclusive dorks is $10 and above. Exclusive dorks, I want to thank Fire Knight 2008. So, those are my patrons. They help me get to where I am and just, yeah, keeping me growing. Feel free to support my patron, links in the description below, and yeah, you can always donate in Super Chat if you want to, but yeah, well, that's nice of you to say, Sean, hoping to grow. But anyway, that is all I have for tonight, so I want to thank everyone so much for watching, and until next time, take care, guys.